Welcome back to Living 808. Today we are busting menopause myths, and joining us with more on that is Stacey Ammerman, who is a board-certified gynecologist as well as a menopause specialist. So we're going to talk all things menopause today. Aloha.
Aloha.
Okay, so when it comes to myths, there are a lot with menopause.
Yes.
You've been on the show before. You talked all about what menopause is, but let's get down to the myths, because I think one of the main ones is how long it lasts. Everyone says menopause lasts an entire year. Is that right?
So no. So menopause is really a moment in time. Menopause is your last menstrual period that you'll ever have. Once you've gone a whole year without a period, you're postmenopausal, and you will be postmenopausal until the day you die. Depending on your longevity, women can spend about a third to a half of their life in menopause.
Wow.
And so it's a big chunk of time. It's way more than just a pause of your life.
Okay, interesting. And during that pause, I think a lot of people have different but also very severe symptoms of menopause.
Yes.
I've heard this, which I'm thinking is a myth. It's people say if you didn't have symptoms that you skipped menopause.
Don't we wish you could skip menopause?
Okay, it's not real. Okay, so that's another myth.
Yeah, so if all women live long enough, you will go through menopause, and there's no skipping it, unfortunately. Some women are very lucky and have very minimal outward symptoms of menopause. But even though you're not having outward symptoms, changes are occurring on the inside of your body. So due to this estrogen deficiency, things are happening. This is the time when your bones start to thin, putting you at risk for osteoporosis or a hip fracture. You can start building up plaques in your arteries that can lead to narrowing and lead to cardiovascular disease, which can lead to a heart attack or a stroke. Also, studies are showing that this is the time that they're starting to see amyloid plaques build up in the brain, which is a hallmark sign of Alzheimer's disease. So it's just really important to know what these changes are doing to your body and your health overall.
So if some people don't have symptoms, does that mean, just out of curiosity, do some women have their periods forever?
No.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah, so they're still going to stop having their period, but there's about 10% of women that have this kind of silent menopause, and so women will talk to their friends. Well, I hope they're talking to their friends. Unfortunately, I don't think they're talking enough, but they'll talk to their friends, and some women will never have had a hot flash, and they say their mood never changed.
Gotcha. Okay, I was just making sure. I was like, is there a chance I'm going to be dealing with this my entire life? Okay, good. It'll stop eventually. And then, all right, let's go back to the myths now. That there's only, I feel like there's one main hormone replacement therapy, but there's not just one, right?
No.
Is that a myth?
Yeah,
okay.
That's a myth. So basically, when we're talking about hormones of menopause, we're really referring to estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone. You do have testosterone in your body. It's not just for men. And so there's a lot of different ways to give these medications, different types, different routes. For example, for systemic estrogen that you would give, it can be given orally. It can be given transdermally in the form of a patch or a gel. There's even an intranasal spray you can use. There's a vaginal ring you can put in that can release that systemically. So a lot of different types.
Okay, good to know. And when it comes to hormones, you mentioned estrogen. Is it a myth? You know, a lot of people are like, oh, you want to stay away from estrogen, or even foods that would kind of help you produce that because it causes breast cancer.
Yeah, so this is really one of the biggest myths that I spend a large chunk of my clinic every day busting. So estrogen does not increase your baseline risk of breast cancer just above what it would be. This really stems from an old study about 20 years ago called the Women's Health Initiative Study, and that study has now been reevaluated, and what we know from that study is that women who used estrogen only had a 30% decreased risk of breast cancer, also a decreased risk of death from breast cancer, and a decreased risk of overall mortality in general.
So that's the opposite then.
Totally opposite.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So where it really stemmed from in that study, there was an arm of that study where people used a synthetic estrogen and a synthetic progestin. But even in that arm, that increased risk was less than 1 per 1,000 users. To put it in perspective, that would be like a risk of having obesity, increasing your risk of breast cancer, or drinking a glass of wine a night, or having low physical activity. So pretty much the same. So this is just really important because women really need to make decisions about their treatment and their health based on actual data and not based on fear.
Right. Okay, so, if more estrogen is right for them, they shouldn't be, backing off from it
Definitely.
because of these myths.
Yeah.
Okay, and then another myth. You have to take menopausal hormone therapy.
Yeah, so you don't. It's great for a lot of women. It's not for everybody, and some women really don't need it. There's also some women who can't take it due to contraindications, but there are other things you can do to help with your health in midlife and help with symptoms.
Okay.
There are non-hormonal FDA-approved medications to treat specific things like low libido, mood, and hot flashes. So lifestyle changes are really important. Diet is huge. I really try to lead women towards an anti-inflammatory diet or a Mediterranean diet during this time, depending on their health risk factors. Supplements can be used, so like vitamin D, magnesium, omega-3s, fiber, those are really important. Exercise is huge, especially weight training and resistance training. A lot of women do not do that. This is the time you really need to focus on that to protect your bones and muscle mass.
Right, okay, good tips. And I love that we're busting so many myths because I've heard every single one of those. So good to know that a lot of it's not true. And if people, want to get in touch with you, maybe going through some of these changes and want guidance and want advice, how do we get in touch with you?
Yeah, so I'm seeing patients all over Hawaii. I have a virtual practice, so they can go to my website at pacificmenopause.com and make an appointment there. Super easy. If you even just have a question, you can contact me through that. Perfect.
And we'll have all of your info on our website at kh12.com. So if you do have any questions, if you do want to know different routes that you can take to maybe manage some of your symptoms as well, you can do that. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate it.